Hi guys, welcome to the Christmas episode. This is the Union Jack, the flag of the United Kingdom. And this much jollier flag is the Ikurriña, the flag of the Basque country. A big part of the Basque Christmas tradition is Olentzero, a charcoal burner that comes down from the Pyrenees Mountains late at night on Christmas Eve to bring children presents. His name most likely comes from a combination of on, meaning good, and tzaro, meaning a period of time, which is pretty similar to the derivation for the Spanish word for Christmas Eve, Noche Buena, literally good night. It's common to carry figures of Olentzero through the streets, and in the Basque town of Lecumberri, people put out an effigy of Olentzero on the chimney. In 1994, they introduced a new character to the Olentzero tradition, Mari Domingi, a woman in medieval Basque dress and the coolest headwear I've ever seen. Just look at that. Wait. Mrs. Claus comes down the chimney, delivers presents on Christmas Eve, sponsored by coal lobbyists. Is Olentzero just Santa Claus? No! He is a separate character from Santa Claus, possibly even predating him. Olentzero comes from ancient pagan winter traditions and comes from before the Basque country was Christianized. This is represented in the backstory of Olentzero, of which there are multiple. One says that he was one of the Gentilac, a race of giants in the Pyrenees Mountains. It is said that one day a glowing cloud appeared and it was too bright to look at, except for one guy who was nearly blind. And when he did look at it, he said that it was a sign that Jesus would soon be born. He asked the other giants to throw him off a cliff so he wouldn't have to live through Christianization. They did what he asked, but then all tripped and died on the way down, leaving only Olentzero. That's pretty crazy. And his backstory isn't the only thing showing Olentzero's distinction from Santa Claus. As a folk character, he has different characterizations in different villages. In Arezzo, an adult will dress up as Olentzero and scare children with a sickle. In Narón, he has 3 red eyes and is a drunkard dressed like a scarecrow. In Dima, they hang a straw puppet with a sickle from the church tower and tell kids, Ononsaro begigorri chaminira de daetori, austenbaldin badegu barua, or reklopoa kindu guri, or Olentzero with the red eyes has come to the chimney. If we break the fast, he will cut our throats. So I guess that explains the sickle. In Barastegi, if the children do not want to go to bed, a sickle will be thrown down the chimney, and the children told that Olentzero would come to cut their throats if they did not go to bed. My parents would usually just say that Santa wouldn't come deliver presents if I stayed up too late. I'm very glad they hadn't heard of Olentzero. It's kind of crazy to me that Olentzero is both the bringer of gifts and the killer of kids. I feel like a lot of places have 2 different characters for those. Take Austria, for instance. They have St. Nicholas as the bringer of gifts, and his assistant, helper, co-worker, Krampus, this horned devil-looking guy with 1 grotesque human foot and 1 goat hoof, who carries on his back a basket with which to abduct and eat naughty children. He was invented because people decided it wasn't very saintly if St. Nicholas was punishing kids, so they gave him Krampus as a helper. But in my opinion, it doesn't seem very saintly to put up with a literal child-eating devil. St. Nicholas is an enabler. Wait, the Saint Nick in Austria is literally a saint. Like, he's literally dressed up as a bishop. Is this St. Nicholas the same as Santa Claus? What is Santa's backstory? And why does he have so many names? Well, there was a real bishop named St. Nicholas, though I guess they only called him that after he died. But he was a pretty cool guy, famous for his generous gift-giving to the poor. For this reason, there began a tradition of giving gifts on his name day of December 6th. In Dutch, he became Sinterklaas, which gives us Santa Claus. During the Protestant Reformation, Martin Luther wanted to distance the church from the veneration of saints, so he moved the gift-giving to Christmas and established the Christkind as the bringer of gifts, also known as the Christ child, also known as little baby Jesus. I feel like he would have an easier time getting down the chimney than old St. Nick. Christkind is actually the origin of the name Kris Kringle, now used to refer to Santa Claus. Another key figure in the development of Santa is Father Christmas, a pagan figure that kind of just represents the whole Christmas season. He's a lot like the ghost of Christmas Present in A Christmas Carol, and he may actually be descended from Odin from Norse mythology. A lot of places use Father Christmas as their main name for Santa Claus, like the French Père Noël and the Italian Babbo Natale. Our modern image of Santa is shaped by many things, including these ancient characters, as well as modern things like the poem A Visit from St. Nicholas, that you probably know as The Night Before Christmas, that describes him as chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf. The poem even gives us the name of Santa's reindeer, though Donner and Blitzen were originally called Dunder and Bliksem, Dutch for thunder and lightning. Another key influence is the illustrations of Thomas Nast, who depicted Santa wringing the neck of a puppet of Jefferson Davis, and later some very influential ads by Coca-Cola. But I think we can all agree that the modern image of Santa, both in terms of appearance and lore, comes from the hit 1994 movie The Santa Claus, starring Tim Allen, and its awful sequels, The Santa Claus 2, Electric Boogaloo, and The Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause, now with Martin Short. Many other countries have their own gift givers, and the Nordics especially have some weird ones. In Finland, they've got the Yule Goat, which started out as people dressing up as goats, but is now basically just Santa Claus, though the reindeer do definitely make more sense in this variation. In Norway and Sweden, they have the Christmas gnome. Iceland, of course, feels the need to be different, and has a whole host of Christmas characters. They've got Grilla and her third husband, Lepaludi, ogres who eat naughty kids. Their pet is the Yule Cat, a massive cat that eats people who don't receive clothes for Christmas, which I feel like parents came up with so kids would be grateful to get socks. Then, we've got Grilla and Lepaludi's 13 kids, the Yule Lads, who show up to your house on the 13 days leading up to Christmas, bringing gifts and causing mischief. Their names are all very descriptive of what they do, both in Icelandic and English. We've got Stekkjarstaur, or Sheepcoat Claude, who harasses sheep. Giljagar, or Gully Gawk, who hides in your gullies, waiting for an opportunity to steal your milk. Stufur, or Stubby, who is super short and likes to steal pans. Forosleikir, or Spoon Licker, licks spoons but is super thin since spoons don't got many nutrients on them. Potteskefetl, or Pot Scraper, steals pots to scrape out the leftovers. Askasleikir, or Bowl Licker, is a lot like Spoon Licker, but he licks bowls instead. Hurðaskellir, or Door Slammer, who slams doors in the middle of the night. Rude. Skýrgámur, or Skyr Gobbler, who eats all your skyr, an Icelandic yogurt that I show off in this video. Bjugnakreikir, or Sausage Swiper, who hides in the rafters to swipe your sausages while they're smoking. Glugageiger, or Window Peeper, who peeps through your windows. Gautaþefur, or Doorway Sniffer, who uses his big nose to find and steal your laufabrauð, or leaf bread, a traditional Icelandic bread eaten at Christmas. Kettkrókur, or Meat Hook, who steals meat with a hook. And last, but definitely least, Kertasníkir, or Candle Beggar, who eats your candles. Stay weird, Iceland, and Merry Christmas, and have a nice day!